Act 9. The imperial noble consorts visit home. Inscription: The Grand View Garden. Time: in the 13th year of the Red Mansion, spring. Location: Rongwa Mansion, Grand View Garden. Character: Jia Zheng, Jia Shi, Jia Yuanchun, Grandma Jia, Jia Baoyu, Shui Baochai, Lin Daiyu, and several others. Character profile. Name: Jia Yuanchun. Gender: female. Alias: eldest daughter, Miss Jia Concubine, Yuan Concubine, Royal Concubine Lady. Identity: Miss Jia Mansion, virtuous concubine. Personality: wise, filial, talented and virtuous, composed and magnanimous, straightforward personality. After the completion of the out-of-town residence, Jia Zheng submitted a memorial requesting permission for the noble consort to visit her family. Before long, he received an imperial decree stating that the noble consort would visit her family on the Lantern Festival of the 15th day of the first month of next year. The Jia family immediately became busy, and they did not even have a proper celebration for the Spring Festival. On the morning of the 15th day of the first lunar month, Jia Shi led the entire family to wait outside the West Street gate of Rongning Street. Grandma Jia also led all the female family members to welcome them outside the gate of Rong Mansion. A team of people and horses walked ahead, followed closely by a large sedan chair with a golden roof, an embroidered phoenix carried by 8 eunuchs. The crowd quickly knelt down, and a eunuch helped Grandma Jia to stand up. Concubine Jia Yuanchun sat in the sedan chair looking at the scenery of the courtyard, couldn't help but sigh. Too extravagant. Yuanchun was brought up by Grandma Jia since she was a child. Later, when Baoyu came along, they lived together at Grandma Jia's place. As the eldest sister, Yuanchun took on the responsibility of educating Baoyu. Although they were siblings, the two of them had a bond like that of a mother and child. Even after entering the palace, Yuanchun always thought of him, often sending letters to her family, reminding them to educate Baoyu well. Jia Zheng knew that Yuanchun and Baoyu had a deep bond, so he said, "I inform your ladyship that some of the pavilions and buildings in the garden were inscribed by Baoyu. If there are any that can be used, please give them a name." Upon hearing the news, Yuanchun was indeed very happy, exclaiming with relief, "He has indeed made progress." Looking around, she did not see Baoyu, so she asked, "Where is Baoyu?" Grandmother Jia replied, "Men without official positions naturally do not dare to barge in on their own." Yuanchun quickly had someone call Baoyu in, performed the ceremony, then quickly embraced him in his arms and exclaimed, "You have really grown up." Before he could finish his sentence, tears were already streaming down his face like rain. The banquet preparation is complete. Everyone sat down in the garden. Yuanchun wrote the name Great View Garden for the second courtyard and titled the plaque of the main hall as Recalling Grace with Respect. The couplets on the sides were, "Heaven and earth show great mercy. Children of all beings feel gratitude together. Through the ages, setting a grand example, the grace and honor extend to 9 provinces and countless nations." Later, Yuanchun also gave names to everyone and then smilingly said to her sisters, "Sisters all know that I have always been slow in my thoughts, especially not good at composing poems. So tonight, I'm going to ask each sister to write a couplet and a poem. Feel free to express yourself, no need to be restrained. Baoyu, you write more, write a 5-character regulated poem, let me see. This will not let me down after teaching you so carefully since you were young." Everyone agreed and went their separate ways to think and compose poetry. In a short while, all the sisters presented the poems they had written. After reading them, Yuanchun laughed and said, "In the end, The poems by the two sisters Shui and Lin are the most unique, beyond the reach of others. Poem written by Bao Chai. The subject matter is condensed radiance, auspicious bell. Fengyuan is built towards the west of the imperial city, with the sun shining and auspicious clouds covering the scenery. The tall willows are delighted as the migrating birds return to the valley, and the bamboo is waiting for the phoenix to arrive. The literary style has already impressed the court in the evening, and filial piety is expected to be honored upon returning to the capital. The talented and knowledgeable scholars are full of colorful brushes. I am ashamed and dare not write again. Poems written by Dayu. The title, Outside the World. Where is the famous garden built, a fairyland away from the secular world? Borrowing the beautiful mountains and rivers, adding new scenery. Fragrant fusion gold valley wine, flowers charming jade hall people. How fortunate to be favored, the royal carriage passed by frequently. At this time, Baoyu's poem was not yet finished. Only 2 poems titled Shaoxiang Pavilion and Hengbu Garden had been written. He was currently writing Yi Hongyuan when Bao Chai saw a line on the manuscript that read green jade spring still rolled up. She quietly hinted for him to change the word jade to wax. Baoyu was very confused and asked where green wax came from. Bao Chai laughed and said, "How come you forgot cold candles without smoke, green wax dry?" Baoyu finally came to his senses and laughed, saying, "Damn, I can't even remember this ready-made sentence in front of me. From now on, I should call you master, not sister." Bao Chai chuckled softly and said, "Hurry up and write a poem. Who is your sister?" "The one wearing the yellow robe on top is your sister." Dayu's nature was a bit competitive and eager to win. Originally, she wanted to show off her talent in front of the noble concubine by writing more poems, but unfortunately the concubine only allowed each sister to write one. At this moment, she noticed that Baoyu had only written 3 poems and had one poem, the apricot silk curtain in sight, left unwritten. So she simply wrote it herself, wrote it on a piece of paper, crumpled it into a ball, and threw it in front of Baoyu. Baoyu is very clever. When he saw the small paper ball thrown by Dayu, he immediately caught it and opened it to see. He couldn't help but be surprised. Dayu's poem is much better than his 3. So he copied it onto a piece of paper and presented it to the noble concubine. The poem is written like this. The apricot curtain is in sight. Apricot curtains invite guests to drink, with a view of a mountain village. The water of water chestnut and water caltrip is clear, and swallows on the mulberry trees and eaves. In one row, spring leeks are green, and the fragrance of rice flowers is permeating for 10 miles. In prosperous times with no hunger, why bother with busy farming and weaving? After reading the 4 poems presented by Baoyu, Yuan Chun was very happy in her heart and praised, "Younger brother has indeed improved a lot." Later, Yuan Chun pointed to the poem written by Dayu and said, "This one is the best." She then ordered someone to change the name of Huanga Mountain Villa to Dao Xiang Village. Later, Yuan Chun asked her siblings to copy the poems and had someone bring them to Jiazheng for them to read. Jiazheng also praised them after reading. Dayu saw this and felt secretly happy in her heart. After finishing the poem and watching the play, Yuan Chun distributed rewards to everyone, and it was time to return to the palace. Yuan Chun felt reluctant to leave, but could only bid farewell to everyone with tears. Grandma Jia and Lady Wang were crying, even more choked up and speechless. The title of the Jia family. The Jia family is the descendant of the founding ancestor. In the early years, the ancestors of the Jia family, Duke of Ningbo Jia Yan and Duke of Rongwu Jia Yuan, helped the emperor conquer the country. Among the 8 dukes in the court, the Jia family held 2 positions and were appointed as dukes. Later, Jia Zheng's daughter Jia Yuanchen entered the palace and was appointed as the virtuous and noble concubine.